So we are right in the middle of harvest season here, 1 week out from Thanksgiving, middle of November, and the trees are a beautiful golden hue. There's nice combinations of red, gold, brown, orange, and green still in the foliage, and it was a perfect time of the year to really start reaching for apple fragrances, who also take on those gold, red, orange, yellow, brown hues at this time of the year the way that the leaves do, and the nice cinnamon, vanillic, gourmand, apple pie style accords that accompany fragrances oftentimes that are perfect for this point in the year. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Peace be with you, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Trevor. Very grateful to have you here. And today I'm just going to be sharing with you the 10 fragrances that I wore the second week of November. And I decided to go ahead and follow through with an apple-themed accord throughout this week. It's just that time of the year where I think it really comes to the foreground and pops very well. And I was somewhat inspired by the first pick of my wearing wardrobe for Monday, and that was Paco Rabanne's 1 Million Prive. And while there is no official apple note in the note breakdown of this one, there's a mandarin orange, I believe, or a blood orange, some type of orange citrus, commingling with some myrrh and some other incense to give a bit of like a sparkly effect alongside of some cinnamon. So very much a very nice, fun, sparkly and easygoing yet rich and with depth style fragrance that really put me in the mood of wearing apple and apple pie accords here, gearing up for Thanksgiving time. So this was my Monday scent of the day, sadly discontinued, but still worth checking out if you can find it, you know, for maybe under $150. Okay, so Tuesday, keeping in with the itch for apple, this is going to be Parfums de Layton. Really beautiful fragrance, scent profile, unique, popular for a reason. It's a little bit sweet for my tastes now. I think I've outgrown it. It was a real, one of the first wow experiences that I had smelling a fragrance though when I was first getting started, and I still think this is a great, well-blended, high quality, a bit, you know, mainstream, which is another reason maybe why I've fallen out of favor with this. I'm interested to see how the exclusive version wears, but nonetheless, I think if you're looking for a nice apple pie fragrance, maybe picking up the smaller bottle of this, because you don't need much to wear it with, and the smaller bottles of PDM I think are a little bit more accessible now that the prices on these are really jumping up. But yeah, Parfums de Layton, also cloned a lot because of its popularity. Also, we're checking out this DNA nonetheless, especially for this time of the year. So that was my Tuesday scent of the day. Wednesday, still keeping full swing with apple. Sadly, another discontinued fragrance, but this is Hugo Boss Bottled Eau de Parfum Intense. And this is probably my favorite apple fragrance that's going to be coming up in this list today, or that I wore over the past week. This just has a very nice woodiness and then this sort of loud quality. I want to say, at least off of my skin, this one really has amazing projection. It has almost like a cola vibe as well, like an apple pie cola. I think the bottle does a good job representing the scent profile here. It's a little bit root beer-ish, like a apple pie root beer. In some sense is what really comes to mind with this fragrance. I think this is sad, really, really sad that this is gone, because it used to be a cheapie. I actually picked this up for $40, but it's going for above $200 now on the, you know, eBay and Mercari, places like that. But if you do have this one, you know, be grateful for this Thanksgiving, because this is a real gem. Boss Bottled Intense Eau de Parfum. Okay, Thursday, nice, easy-going, dumb reach sort of fragrance. I think this is great for spring, fall, and summer nights even. It's got a certain freshness to it from a violet leaf in here that gives it a bit of a watery feel, almost caramel style sweetness, and a green apple note that zings off the top, adds a nice little fresh bit of fruitiness. And this is in the same vein as La Nuit de l'Homme, but with a twist. This is Trussardi Riflesso. And like I said, I think this is just a really easy dumb reach style fragrance with a bit of a warm tinge to it. And you could wear this in the office, you could wear this for date night, you could wear this as a signature. It's just really versatile and affordable. You can pick this up for sub $40, I believe. And honestly, I prefer wearing this to La Nuit de l'Homme. It's a little bit fresher, more daytime appropriate, and is just maybe not the same quality. There is a certain syrupiness to the textural feel in here that I often associate with sort of cheaper fragrances, but it's not as bothersome in this because the scent profile is so well done. And I really love the apple twist on the La Nuit de l'Homme that they have going here, as well as that fresh quality from the violet, the sort of invigorating feeling that the watery touch adds to this. And yeah, I just really had a great time wearing this one on Thursday, and didn't get me a compliment this past Thursday, but it is a compliment getter, so definitely check this one out. It's really great for this time of the year, and a worthy investment because it's going to be wearable throughout the course of the entire 4 seasons, I would say. Okay, Friday, another one I haven't reached for in a while, but really glad that I did. This was a beautiful wearing experience, and surprisingly the apple popped quite a bit off of this. Even though it's not necessarily harkened as a major note in this one, but I was really getting a lot of that green apple vibe, and it was a beautiful, beautiful wearing experience on Friday. And so Friday is a day where I usually like to wear niche fragrances, and I reached for this one right here, Creed Aventus. So not really too sure what my batch code is. I think I threw away the box, and they usually have the Creed batches on the box. I do know I still have a plastic cap, which I hear is a good thing, but I get a lot of apple and birch out of this batch of mine, and it was just I'm really glad I revisited this. The rose was also really popping in here. The apple and the rose were sort of the 2 fragrance notes that were really coming to the foreground when I was wearing my batch of Creed Aventus on Friday, and those both rose and apple are just things that I really, really adore during the autumn time. So really glad I revisited this one. It's been a while since I've spent some time with it, just because it's sort of become a victim of its own success to some degree, but I'm now reminded of why it was so successful in the first place. So that was Creed Aventus for Friday. Okay, and Friday evening, so I started off my weekend. I came home, took a shower, got unwound from work, and wanted to reach for something a little bit more cozy, and I was actually testing this one out. I haven't had a lot of time with it, and I hear that it is in need of maceration, or that the maceration really helps. It's what the forums have said on Parfumo and Fragrantica, but this is Casablanca from Swiss Arabian. I picked this one up off of Bowtie Fragrance Guy's recommendation. I forgot what one of the years previous he was recommending this as an autumn cheapie, and I think this is a fine fragrance. I actually think this is right up there in terms of quality and even scent profile with Mercedes-Benz Club Black, almost as if you took the smoke out of the smoke and incense out of Mercedes-Benz Club Black and replaced it with a fruity apple accord. However, I feel like in doing so, that lack of smokiness is removing a lot of the masculine edge from an otherwise very steamy, musky vanilla, which this shares with the Benz Club Black. And they're both kind of in the same price range. I think this one's, you can get under 40, whereas the Benz Club Black's kind of pushing up into the $50 range, but I think they're both great. This one has that nice apple twist, but I think this one runs a little bit too feminine for my taste. So if you like Benz Club Black, definitely check this one out. I think this one is a nice sort of flanker to that DNA with the apple twist, but overall I think this one's a little bit too feminine for me, but I'm going to give it a little bit more time to macerate and revisit it again in the future. This is probably the only one I wouldn't recommend picking up right now in my rotation for last week. So that was Friday evening. Saturday, it was a little bit warm for this fragrance, I think, and I somewhat only reached for it to continue on with the apple theme, but I'm glad that I also reached for this one too. It was good to revisit it and kind of get my bearings on this fragrance as well. It's not one that I think I'm particularly in love with, but I did find more affection for it than I had going into wearing it on Saturday. But this is Mancera's Red Tobacco, and this is a screw cap version for whatever that's worth. Opening lasts a pretty long time, and I really don't care for it. It's a little bit muddled, a little bit too spicy, a little bit cacophonic, if that's a word I could use here. But the apple in here is great. I really love the tartness of the apple that is in this and the syrupy quality of it overall. This almost reminds me of if you had like an apple pie flavored Swisher, and you ever like breaking down a Swisher and like the guts have that kind of syrupy flavor wrapped around the leaf, the tobacco leaf. This is kind of like that, almost with an apple pie sort of vibe to it, with the cinnamon and the apple and the syrupy tobacco quality. But the dry down on this is excellent. I loved smelling myself walking around. I went to the park and walked around in the woods with my daughter on Saturday, and then this was kind of wafting around, and it smelled really great amidst the kind of semi-crisp air that the autumn is offering, and then the drying leaves and foliage and the crunching going on underneath of our feet. Really, really enjoyable. It just took a while to get out of that muddled opening, so one reason why I'm not particularly in love with this fragrance right now, but I think especially now that they released a new flanker, an intense version of this, which I have not tried. I'm sure that the prices on this will probably drop, so I've seen testers of this go sometimes for about $60, and I think that is a really good price for this kind of DNA, an affordable entry-level niche, even though it is a little bit difficult to wear, I would say, because it's so much going on and you're so close to it. But I think in terms of something that you're wearing, and it's an effect on your environment, I think people around you are going to be able to enjoy this one. So it is a great fragrance for sort of, leaving a place better than you left it, if that's a good way to put it. So that was my Saturday scent of the day. And then, because I was visiting that DNA later on the evening that night, I decided to go for this one, which gets compared to it, but I would say it is a standalone fragrance. This is Sultan Noir from Pascal Morobito. As you can see, I actually have a pretty good dent in this one. The only drawback to this is that I think it does go into that same vein as the Red Tobacco Dry Down, which is why I somewhat prefer this over the Mancera. But this one has much more of an intimate, cozy quality to it, which makes it more of like a bedtime fragrance or a cozy warm-up in the morning sort of fragrance for me. And it lacks the sort of commanding attention and the textural components that the Red Tobacco has that makes it much more of a cologne or something that you would wear out. While I think this is much more of an indoor fragrance, like quality. But I still like this one much more overall. It adds a little bit of an iris powderiness to the Red Tobacco kind of scent DNA with the cinnamon, and yeah, this one is just really, really beautiful. It has that nice gooey amber with a tart Jolly Rancher style apple accord in here, and a beautiful dusty cinnamon that enwraps it all. A perfect fragrance for Thanksgiving or spending time around the house during opening presents for Christmas. I think this is really one worth checking out. A great gift idea as well, as it's perfectly unisex. But that was my scent of the night for Saturday. And then Sunday, we had, in the morning, reached for one of those fragrances that I wanted to warm up with and get cozy in the morning because it was a bit cold. It's been dropping down into the 30s at night and in the early AMs near where I'm at now. And so Lattafa Khamrah, really nice gourmand, no apple note listed. Some people get an apple pie accord, I personally don't, but I do get the nice cinnamon, I do get the fruitiness from a date accord in here. And this does have a little bit of a baked date bread with syrup kind of image, built around a fluffy texture. Very kind of fluffy, dusty, candied, gourmand, date pancakes is a good way to describe this one, I would say. And again, this is something that while I have worn out and it has got me compliments and it is mass appealing and it's got a good amount of projection, I think I like to reach for this one a little bit more for just keeping myself warm and cozy and cuddly and bedtime style fragrances in the morning with coffee. This is something that I'm really enjoying reaching for during this time. And I also think it'd be a great gift idea. I think it kind of, with its box shape, has a good presentation, and it is affordable, and I think it's really mass appealing and unisex as well. So that was me just warming up for the day on Sunday, and I didn't really plan on going out, but me and my daughter went to go visit my wife later on at the restaurant, just to kind of visit her. She was having a bit of a slow day at the restaurant, so it was getting kind of boring being there, so we came and dropped her off some lunch. And because we were going out after I took a shower in the afternoon, I decided to throw on Versace Eros Parfum. And yeah, just really nice, easy to wear, a little bit loud still, which the Eros Parfum DNA, or the Eros DNA, is known for, but the Parfum really sits a little bit closer than the rest of the flankers. And the aromatic side of this, I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm not really that big of a fan of sweet fragrances, but this Parfum as well as the Eros Flame both have a really nice aromatic side to them that kind of overpowers. There's almost like a medicinal aromatic side that overpowers the sweet vanilla qualities in these. And again, this one has a green apple note in here that adds to the sort of fruity sweetness and freshness, which is combined here with fresh and sweet, which makes this a easy, dumb reach, mass appealing, compliment getting, but a little bit more grown up than your average scent in that demographic here with the Parfum version. And pretty affordable too. I've seen these come down into the sub $50, or sorry, sub $70 range, like 60 bucks for 100 ml. Pretty good deal. So that was my weekly rotation. Let me know what yours was in the comment section down below, and let me know if there's any other apple fragrances that I'm missing out on, especially for this time of the year. And as always, I really appreciate you sticking with me to the end of the video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.